Okay, welcome back. Lesson number 10, we're going to talk about the triangle choke, okay? Today, I'm going to get Coach Jerome. He's my longtime training partner. I've been knowing him since it's been over 10 years now, right?
Yes.
So he's very knowledgeable. I love his ability to dissect techniques, especially when it comes down to the fundamentals. Me and him, we're big fan of the fundamentals, okay? And you can never get enough of it because even at the advanced level, you come back, fix a little bit, boom, you can still improve, right? It's like the incremental improvements that you can do with your basics. That's what's gonna, create your jiu-jitsu, all from the foundation. So, Coach Jerome, take it away.
Sure. One thing before we start, guys, actually, I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. We're going to be doing triangle for today. Triangle was kind of like my unicorn from before, which means that it's awesome, but I can't seem to get it because of my short legs. And then the more you get to study under great instructors or watch instructionals, what you would notice is that you would find out that it's not really your length of your legs. It's more of a technique for the triangle. I'm not saying that physicality doesn't matter. It does. But what I noticed though, that is initially before I can't do triangles, and now I can, and that's because of proper input and technique. So what I'm going to do right now is actually discuss some of the first common things that occurs as a problem why people can't get triangle. Okay, but before that, actually, I'm just going to go show you a basic technique of the triangle that you can apply in both gi and no gi. Okay, so we're going to be in a guard position. Okay. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be controlling Professor Randy's hands here. Okay. So again, for a self-defense situation, this is good because now he's not able to strike you. Okay. And also another thing that is important in triangle, and that is, unless you got super long legs, then posture would be a lot easier to snap a triangle without breaking their posture, okay? But in my position, if Professor Randy is straight up, take a look. If I try to reach up, I can't, okay? So what I have to do is I have to break his posture, okay? And the way I do that actually is, first of all, controlling his hands. Because if his hands is in my chest, if I try to pull him, he has this as base. But take a look, if I try controlling his hands, and I try to pull him, he's not able to base because I'm controlling his post or his arms. When I pull, guys, I pull with my knees. I don't pull with my feet. That was one of the biggest mistakes I was doing from before, okay? So again, I pull with my knees. So what I'm going to do right now when I control his hand is that I'm going to push one hand in and pull one hand out. And take a look though, his posture is already getting broken down, okay? So again, from here, push one hand in, pull one hand out, and then I raise my hips. And I lock this position. Okay, as you can see, one of his arm is trapped underneath my legs, okay? Or my triangle legs, okay? So what I'm going to do from here and out, since I pulled him down already, is that I control the hands and I push it to the side, okay? And from here on, I grab his head, put on the hip, I move to my right side, okay? And then from here on, I lock. And the way I finish this thing is I turn this way, and then I push down, okay? As you can see, my legs are not super long, but it still works for me. Feels okay? Yeah, okay, perfect. So again, have him in the guard, push one hand in, one hand out. I raise my hips up, control his elbow, push his arm on one side, control his head, put on the hip, turn on one side. You can also grab your feature if you want. Then lock on top, then I turn this way, then push down. Okay. So, actually, one common thing that a lot of people do wrong, guys, in triangle, which I was doing for the longest time, is not going perpendicular with my hips. What I mean by that, and that is, usually when you're locked in a triangle, you want your legs to be perpendicular, not stacked like this, okay? Because what happens is, if you look at my triangle here, if it's perpendicular, the hole is big, but once I start tilting it, it becomes small, okay? So what you want to do is one last time, and that is, we're going to go in a side view position here. So when I lock my triangle, see, if Professor Randy's pushing towards me, take a look, I'm not going to be able to just push it all in. I'm not able to lock my legs. See, the way I lock it is, I move backwards to create space. So now I can lock it, okay? So if you feel like you're not able to lock your legs, most likely you're not in a perpendicular position. And that's one of the things that you guys got to master. But besides that, just practice it. And also, if you know someone that is the same physique as you are, you notice that they have good triangles, ask them. For me, that's what worked best.
Thank you, Coach Jerome. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that helped me the most, because I wasn't able, like every time I did the triangle, it hurt my legs. It's because I couldn't get that perpendicular position. I was trying to choke the person's back. If your legs across the back, that's a good indicator that's not on right. You want your leg, you're pretty much the back of your leg across the neck. All right? So that's the basic application of the triangle. Thank you, Coach Jerome.
Hey guys, so now actually what we're going to be doing is a continuation of the triangle. Initially, we did the basic setup for proper mechanics for a triangle. So now what we're going to do is how can we apply this thing. So we're going to actually do it in both a sport situation, which means there's no striking, and also to a self-defense situation, which means that if there is striking involved. So what's going to happen actually is I'm going to go straight to my guard already. Okay. With Professor Randy here. Sure. And again, guys, the setup that initially I was talking about is to hold the hands of the person, okay? But also another thing you guys can do too, actually, besides holding the hands, you're not able to, and that is to swim in and then just control them, okay? Up like this. So actually, I'm just going to turn this way just a little bit so you can see, okay? As you can see in here, if I have his posture down, if he tries to strike me, go ahead. It's a little bit harder. Unlike if I let him go and I just let him elevate, that's what he needs. He needs momentum, okay? So once you feel the guy pretty much raising up and you can control the hand, swim in, and control the back of his head, and also his arm right here, okay? So what I'm going to do now, guys, and that is from here on this position, as you can see, the arm that is free is this arm. This arm, I'm not too worried about because I am controlling it with my left hand, okay? So the setup for a triangle is going to be with this hand, okay? So now what he's going to do is he's going to try punching me. So you can see it's hard for him to do it. But now what I do is I block initially, and then I insert my knee. And in this position too, I grab the hand, okay? So for now I have control of this hand and also this other hand. And then from here on, I turn to my side and I go heavy, okay? So as you can see here, if you try to pull out, Professor, well, it's a lot harder for him, okay? So some people, what they'll do if you have the flexibility in that is you're able to pull this leg out. But for me, since I'm not able to have the flexibility, what I do is I can just go straight on my arm and go around and lock it from this position. And from here, we're on our basic triangle setup, which is you control the head, lift your hip, swing this arm on the other hand, turn to the side, grab my leg, here, then finish up. Okay, so again, guys, we'll do the other variation, which is in here, I'm controlling his hand, so if he tries to strike, I have control over him, okay? So again, for this one though, Push one arm in, lock, hand on one side, control his head, so I can grab my leg, then lock. Okay. One more time on the other variation, I swim in, control the back of his head, control the back of his arm, okay, and then block his arm, go to my side in here, and then I swim underneath. Lock. One thing, guys, okay? If you notice that when you lock your triangle, and I can't grab this leg in here, what you want to do is to pull back, swim back a bit more, so you're able to lock. If that doesn't work, you also use the back of your knee to push in, so you can lock it. Okay. So again, guys, on a self-defense situation, you got to watch out for strikes. On a sport situation, of course, it's a lot easier because you're not getting hit in the face. But practice both. Both are necessary. So,
I'd like to add something. One thing, just to remind you guys, because I also want to tie into the other classes we did. Okay, it was the one that we did with Professor Walton here. Okay, it was we're in this position here. Okay, and he throws the strikes on this side again. He throws a spoon. I hip up to this way, get high on the leg, insert that knee. Okay, so we're in that stage, kind of like in that stage 2 position here. Okay, with the shin, but kind of in between because I don't have both knees. Both knees. When we're in stage 2, we're like this. This time we only have one here. Okay, high on the back here. Come to the wrist here. And for me, this is like what I would try to get some more distance because the variation that Coach Jerome showed was the one where he was like this, and threw it in. You can try doing it like this, where you put the foot on the hip, you extend and push away. Then you got a lot of distance. Boom. You come back to this diamond position, ready to set up for the triangle here. So again, we go to stage 1, boom, okay. He's hitting me on this side, boom, boom, I want to control, so I'm going to go up, and off the side, insert my knee, control the tricep right here. Work my way down the wrist, I go hip, I push my shin by hipping up, then I can pull my leg out into this diamond position ready for the triangle. Okay, so work those 2 options. See what feels best for you. All right? And that's the triangle variation 1.
hey guys, so now what we're going to be covering with the triangle, and that is a very common situation, which happens to be a lot, and that's what if a person decides to just smash you. And what I mean by smash, and that is, I'll have Professor Randy demonstrate here. And that is, you're not able to create space because what they're trying to do, and that is just pretty much put all their weight towards you like this. So as you can see, especially for someone old and flexible like me, I'm not able to have the distance to be able to do triangle. So one of the things that you need to make sure of, and that is you have enough space for your hip to be close to his head. Now my hip and his hip are about the same, okay? So the first thing we're going to be doing in this scenario, and that is we're going to be pushing him out with our knees. And also another thing you can do too is also use your hands, okay? So from in this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it and then out. But as you can see, my hand is also actually turn this way. So when I push him, actually, just straight hand, please. Yeah. So as you can see, when I push him, I also have support. So he won't be able to punch me, okay? So once I notice that I'm able to block his shoulder and his hand, then I go to the head. Okay, so I go double push on his head, then I put my hand on pretty much, I put both of my feet on his hip, okay? So once I notice that both of my foot is on his hip, I push him out, then I grab his hand with both of my hands, okay? From here on, I can free this leg out. Then I go back to my diamond position, as Professor Randy calls it. okay, on my triangle position. Okay, so again, I have this fellow who's on my bottom, and then he's not giving me any space, okay? You can see he's on a smash position. So again, I use my hand, both of my hands, and my legs to push him out, okay? And from this position, I go to his head, push him out, I put my hand on his hip. As you can see, I'm planting my elbow and my arm into this free arm. So now if he tries to hit me from this position, I'm still blocking, okay? So once I have both of my feet on his hip, I push him out a bit more, grab his wrist, and I free this foot. Then I lock, okay, from here. And then I go into my triangle or arm bar position. So anything to add to that one, Professor?
No, just, yeah, exactly. If they're not giving you space, you got to create space by pushing them away, right? That's why I tell you guys, when you guys are pushing, that's when you have your hands open and not pulling. That's I think that's the one common mistake for beginners is they're constantly grabbing. And another way to make space is even that maybe he's heavy on me or something like that. Okay, this is a good hand on the bicep. Okay, maybe like from the start, put your foot up and do a hip escape first, and then you get a lot of space here, right? And you can control the wrist, and you can do what Coach Jerome does. Just instruct the rest of you.
Yeah. And also one thing to add, guys, okay, and that is honestly, a lot of the high level guys, one of their biggest advice and that is you gotta fight limb with the same limb, okay? Or you're gonna have the advantage of using a bigger limb against a smaller limb. So in this example, that is, if I'm using just my hand to push his body out, my arms is a lot weaker. But if I use my legs with my hands to push him out, then I'm more of an advantage. It's the same thing as when you're triangling someone. It's your legs pretty much against their neck and also this arm. So you want to have the limb advantage, okay guys, for in order to do better in Jiu-Jitsu.
All right, so that's triangle choke, second variation. Right, and onto the reflex development drill. All right, guys, we're going to do our reflex development drill. So we're essentially going to combine the punch block series from guard with the two triangle attacks we learned. Okay, so just to review the punch block series, I'm going to let Coach Jerome take over with the drill. Okay, the punch block series, we're in the guard position. Right. Okay, stage one, maybe he's close, okay, and we do some drilling here, some control. He pushes away with this arm, okay. I swim in, control. He does it again. Maybe I'll switch head position, control that arm, making sure I'm on my guard, okay. He's trying to punch me, and maybe I'll actually push me away with this one more time, son. Push away just so we can see. So I come back here, maybe he's punching me to the body, he's punching me. I control. Shin here, okay, he tries to punch me with the other arm, I block, shin here, can't get away, so he postures up, move foot on the hips, pinching my knees, he tries to strike at me, can't strike at me, okay, stage 4, he gets up, and tries to strike at me, he can't do it, okay, so that's where we're going to work the drill from, okay, Coach Jerome, we can take it from time.
So, okay guys, so one thing, if you're starting this position, just do it slowly. It doesn't have to be super fast. Remember what they say, smooth is fast. So you want to drill this thing as much as you can until you're pretty much getting it fairly smooth, okay? And also again, your main objective in here is to make sure you're aware where the punches are coming from. Okay, before you actually start moving to an offense. So you want to focus on defense and then go to an offensive position, okay? So now, as you can see, I'm actually going to start on same thing in stage 1 for now. So go ahead, see who is trying to punch. Just put it in. I go for the initial staging here, then I push. And I lock the first one, okay? And then the second one right now, he's just pretty much on a smash. He's just low. And even though I try to, he just satisfied being here, okay? So again. So you can use your feet too. That's okay. Thank you. So as you can see, thanks. So as you can see, guys, that I ended up doing an arm bar. So again, you can just connect all of these things together. Anything to add, Prof?
Yeah, just like essentially you're just trying to, give your partner some options. Remember, you guys can go interchange stages 1 to 4. You can go back, and this is when the submissions start happening. You come back to stage 1, stage 2. That's when you hit the triangle, right? And you can always pull back guard. Remember, so like one thing, let's just start with stage 1 here. Okay. I got control, okay? And essentially I just let him do whatever. If he's striking down here, then this is the time to start attacking here. Okay? Or, depends what he has. If he wants to strike here, boom, I get 2. Okay? I probably wouldn't do it here. I'll probably he's gonna get up, he strikes at me, okay, I chill, boom. I go back to stage 1, this is where I'm ready to do my submission. Okay, maybe he strikes, do some more striking. 1, boom. Get a little higher. He's giant, so I'm gonna bring the triangle up. Walk in the triangle. Okay? So just work through the stages. But if you want to hit the triangle, you gotta bring them back to stage 1, at least 1.5. All right?
And again, guys, one thing, and that is you don't have to do it immediately, okay? Sometimes it takes about 10, 20 tries. That's why they say jiu-jitsu is like chess. It's very rare that you get someone on 2, 3 moves.
Yeah.
Okay, especially the higher the level. Sometimes it would take 20, 30, or even 40 moves before you can actually get a checkmate. So again, guys, if you feel like you're doing this thing and it's taking you a long time, that's just normal.
Yeah, and then another Gracie strategy. If the guy's wasting all his energy trying to strike you and they're ineffective, guess what's his power bar going to do? It's going to keep going down and down, and he's going to make it easier for you to hit that triangle because he's sloppy, he's tired. Okay, so yeah, work these 1 to 4. When the opportunity arises, boom, hit the triangle. All right, guys, so that's a reflex development drill for the triangle choke.
Hey guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate pretty much all of our drills about me escaping when the person's mounted, and from there on passing their guard, mounting them, and then from the mount I'm going to be controlling the mount for a bit, and then I'm going to end up going for the arm bar, letting the person escape. After the person escaped, then I'm going to do the punch block series on guard. Then I'll pull him back into guard, and then I'm going to end up on a triangle, okay? So again, now we're going to be starting on the beginning. So, Professor Randy is on top. So one thing we're going to make sure of, and that is make sure we're protecting ourselves. And one thing is breaking his base out, breaking his base. I do my regular escape, drop his arm, drop his leg, and I base. And just move in the middle of the front row. One time you're in the middle, the first thing I want to make sure, and that is I have my head down. I don't want to be up or I'm going to get punched in the face. So I'm down, controlling his arm, then I start passing his guard, controlling the head, passing the guard, and from here on, I got to make sure I stabilize the mount first. So I'm going to try doing a few of the escapes. We're just going to be pushing side to side. Swim in, control the head, swim. And then once I notice him his arm being up like this, then I go straight to the arm bar. But in here though, it's a drill position, we're just gonna control it, okay, for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll loosen up, let him escape. Now we're back in our guard position, so now we're gonna be doing the punch block series here from guard protection. So control the head and his arm. This is like stage 1.5. Control one side. Then I pull him back again. Control one arm. Then I start going for my offense in here. Anything to add there, Professor? That seems.
No, that's pretty much. Maybe run it through one more time.
For sure.
Move on.
So again, guys, posture control first, because it's only when he's up that he can do a lot of damage. So push on the back, clap, level change, hook one arm, trap the same leg on the same side, then I bridge. I put my head down so I don't get punched in the face. Control his arm. Start hopping over the legs. Control his leg. Go to the mount. And now mount control. Make sure that I have proper base. Swim in. He puts his leg, his hands up. Switch to the arm bar. I'm up. Make sure control for 5 seconds. Then I open up my guard so he can go up. So in here, punch block series control the arm. Still controlling the arm, then I start switching to my subs. So again, guys, when we do it, it's not speed, it's more of awareness. And I'm not too sure how Professor Randy does it, but for me, that's how things run into my head when I'm training. I actually am being mentally aware of my steps one by one. And of course, I slow it down the best as I can to be able to, it'd be easier for me to absorb it. So.
And I was just talking to Coach Jerome about this off camera. It's like, these are essentially jiu-jitsu katas. These are the forms, you know? So that's why I'm saying you guys got, for you to learn the best, you want it to flow. You essentially want it to flow. So you guys got to work together in sync, okay? And do it slow first, right? Because once you get a certain amount of experience, essentially when we first start, we only have an on and off button, right? And essentially, and as you develop your skills and get some more experience, you're more calm, so you can, that on and off switch, that click, click, turns into one of those faders, and you can turn up your intensity a step at a time, okay? So how you do that is start off with these jiu-jitsu concepts, right? It'll help you understand the position, and it won't be such a struggle when you're grappling, all right? So that's the fight simulation drill for the triangle choke. Oh, one more thing. Thank you, Coach Jerome. Thank you for the lesson. Of course. Welcome.